There are a few ways to print spine labels in Oliver. Basically, you need to search for the copies that need labels first, and then select to print them to the spine label report that matches your label stationery. We'll take a look at a few ways you can search for the copies that need labels, and how you can print labels for these reports. One way to print labels is from cataloging Smart Cataloging. I'll Smart Catalog a couple of titles. Scan the ISBN. I'll just generate a copy barcode and add a cost to the item. Then click Save the resource and copies. I'll add one more resource and generate a copy. The details of the copy are remembered from before, so I'll just click Save Resource and Copies. At the end of your Smart Cataloging session, you can click the button to print spine labels. This opens the Print Labels wizard. Now you can click a link to select all copies added since spine labels were last printed for this login. The barcodes we just added through Smart Cataloging and any others we cataloged in this logged in session that have not yet been printed would appear in that box. We can click Next to search for the copies. The copy details are displayed, and we can click Next to select the desired label report. I'll select the spine label 11x12 Rayco 12603 and run the report to Word. You can specify a number of labels to skip if you are printing to a label sheet that has already been used. For example, I'll enter 6 here. Click Next and download the report. You can now send the report to the printer. I'll click Finish and OK to the prompt to leave the wizard. If you have the physical barcoded copies with you, you can navigate straight to the Print Labels wizard from Cataloging Home or from Reporting Home. Scan the barcodes of the copies into the box, or copy and paste a list of barcodes if you have one. Click Next to find the copies, and Next to select the appropriate spine label report and run to Word or PDF. Similarly, if you have the physical barcoded copies to scan or a list of barcodes you can copy and paste, you can navigate to Cataloging Copies and select Multi-Barcode Search from the Copies function menu. Scan the barcodes or paste the list into the box and click Search. Then click Generate Report and select the spine report you need. Again, run the report to Word or PDF and print to your label stationery. It is also possible to get a list of barcodes accessioned in a date range by navigating to Cataloging Copies. On the Search Copies page, you'll see the Date Received filter. To search for all copies accessioned since a particular date, enter the starting date into the first box. I'll enter today's date and click Search. Once you have found the copies, then as before, click Generate Report and select a label format to run. If none of the available spine label reports match your stationery, you can use the Print Labels wizard to customize your own spine label report. To do this, navigate to Cataloging Home and select Spine Label Customization Wizard, or go to Reporting Spine Label Wizard. Give the report an appropriate name. I don't have any specific label stationery to work from, so for this example, I'll just enter ZGHS Spine Label 7x11. Add a brief description if required. If you'd like the report to be available from Cataloging Resources, you can leave the Include for Resources option ticked. The Print Labels wizard uses the copy reports, so leave Include for Copies ticked. Then populate the settings for the spine label. The more accurate you can be with your measurements, the better. A4 size paper is selected by default with a width of 21 centimeters and height of 29.7 centimeters. Measure the margins and the gutters. The left margin is the gap between the left edge of the page and the left side of the leftmost label. The right margin is the gap between the right edge of the page and the right side of the rightmost label. Top margin is the gap between the top of the page and the top of the first label. The horizontal gutter is the gap between the labels going across the page. The vertical gutter is the gap between the labels going down the page. I'll enter my measurements in here. Enter the number of columns of labels and the number of rows of labels. The label width and height is calculated automatically. Next, drag the fields you would like displayed on the label to the display order box. I'll select copy classification, split on space or before period. Set the alignment and vertical alignment as necessary. I'll leave this set to left and top and save the report. I'll navigate back to cataloging copies and search for a set of copies to test the spine label against. I'll select around 200 barcodes by ticking the checkboxes on the side of the page. And then clicking the View button to restrict the results to these 200 barcodes only. Click Generate Report and select the new label report to run to Word. You can edit the spine label by navigating to Reporting, Print Reports, or System Reports. I'll tick Custom Reports to search for custom reports only. Click the number link to the left of the spine label and then click the Edit Spine Label Configuration button to edit the settings. To avoid wasting label sheets, it is best to run the report to plain paper first and hold that up against the label sheets to check the alignment.